Alright, so we have the Infernus Marines with paint. Now it also comes with a brush as well. Can't forget the brush. Now I've already dealt with the tape, so let's go ahead and open it. Little plague marine face. Not sure. Right. And what should come out? Oop. It fell. These are what we have. We have the paintbrush. Comes with its own little top as well. Ain't that nice? Leave that off to the side along with the paints. I'm not going to be painting it in this little thing. You get 3 bases. These are what your Space Marines will stand on. Now, if I'm correct, the basic Space Marines don't usually have the little hexes inside the stands. Though, I could be wrong. I've only had a couple of Space Marines. AKA 2. One being the Lieutenant and the other being the Chaplain in Terminator armor. Now here we have the paints, which are being a pain in the butt to get out. We get Earth Shade, whatever you want to call it. We have Technical Armageddon Dust, Shade Agrix, Earth Shade. We also have Abaddon Black, Macragge Blue, Balthazar Gold, that's for the base, and Corax White. Oh, that's base, not for the base, okay. And then you should get your little thing of Space Marine parts. Now, you can do multiple things to get them out. I just have these scissors here, but you can also get like sprue cutters and stuff. That's what these are called, sprues. Stuff holding the Space Marine parts. Now you can go ahead and cut them out. There we go. He flew right out. We have the Space Marine here. Now there are bits where the sprue stayed. So what you do is you can either take a file or just a knife, and you can just carve that right off. Now those little bits you can go ahead and make sure to keep them all in one location so that you can throw them all out eventually. Honestly, you don't need to take off the sprue for this because, well, it's going inside the base. You're not going to be seeing it. Because who's going to be looking at the bottom of your base? Now these, you might need them carved off, just off the tips of this. Because, well, I've never dealt with a Space Marine that looked like this before. Now, the backpack parts. This will stick to the back of the Marine. Pretty sure this is the back of the guy I just plucked out, so might as well do that there. Let's see if it connects. Ooh, hold on. It does. Okay. So let's cut off the sprue, and we can get to gluing the back of him on. Always make sure not to carve off too much. You don't want to carve off any important pieces. Now, I don't think you need glue specifically for this model per se, but I mean, you could always use glue to help secure it, make sure it's all secure on there and everything. I'm doing this alone. Just gonna be cutting off the sprue remains on there. Alright. And there we go. Space Marine with his backpack thing. I forgot what it was called. But then you have just him. And if you're not going to paint them and you're just going to keep them gray, you can just fit him inside his base like that. And that's how he stands. Now, the stands can be a bit grippy, so I don't fully advise putting them on the base just yet. See, I can't get them out now. But it's whatever. I'm fine with that. Now, I would put his head in here, just making sure that there's no, like, bare heads. Oh, it's all just that. Okay, okay. So for these guys, you have to put the head in first, and then the thing. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, so let's take off his backpack and see if we can take this off. If we can't, I'll probably just cut off the thing. I very well could just cut off the thing and put his head however I want. There we go. Alright. So now his head doesn't go there. His head might. Nope. Let's see if his will work. There you go. So this guy, these will connect into here. And this will be like how the head fits in there. There we go. So now this guy, he can rock his head around a little bit. You can glue it in there if you want. But yep, that's his head in there now. Let's put his backpack back on. Let's get one of his arms out. Then we can get the other out. And we'll then be able to have him completed. I'd have to take out his arm as well. Wonder where his arm is. It's probably this one. Are these arms the same? Kind of. They're kind of the same. Interesting. So this one's a bit weird. It's less customizable. It's more designated. But I'm sure everything will end up just the same. To a degree, yes. See, I might be able to put his arms on him like that. Maybe. Let me see if it works like that. Just slip his arm on real quick. Take off his jump pack. Alright. Let's fit it on. Let's see if it sticks. Oh, so this arm is not supposed to go on here. Alright.
Oh, I'm playing with the... I'm playing with the noob.
So this one's a bit weird. When it comes to other Space Marine packets, it's not like this. It's more customizable, as I've been saying. But it's good. It's fine, it's fine. Everything's alright. Where's his arm? There it is. His arm is 5. So, shave off the remaining sprue. Let's go ahead and stick it on there. And then we got his Pyroblaster here. Or at least, here it is. Alright, more remaining sprue to get off. There's going to be a lot of it. A lot of your dedication is going to go into making sure the sprue comes off. Does it need to be perfect? No, not really. But it can define whether the model looks realistic, I guess. Realistic-ish. So we're going to probably have to glue this guy's hand on. No. we can just stick it in. There's a thing in the side of the gun that sticks it right in. And then his arm here. I think it might be this one, with the hand facing downwards. Doesn't look to be so. Let's see. Which one was this again? Was this 6? I can't remember which one is the one I'm supposed to use. Looks like it's facing downwards. So it very well could be this one or this one. Might be this one. Check real quick. No, I think it's the smaller one. Yeah. Looks to be so. Oopsie daisy. Oops. It broke. Well. Sucks that it broke. And the hand broke with the little thing in here. But we do have glue. But the thing does hold together well enough to the point where it doesn't need the glue. And there we go. Put the backpack right on him. There's our first Pyroblaster. Doesn't he just look beautiful? Yep, okay. Ain't he gorgeous? Now there are these symbols on the shoulders. If you want to, you can shave them off. They don't have to be Ultramarines. Pretty sure all you need to do is shave this off. I believe you can keep this, maybe, for other units. But I'm probably wrong on that. But yeah, first Pyroblaster. Let's keep the other Pyroblasters up here. The other arms. The other heads. And let's get these guys out. Alright. Next up on the chopping block is him. Now you can very well name your guys. I personally have not named any of my Space Marines. They're all unnamed soldiers fighting for the Imperium of Man. Pretty sure that would be a Black Shield, but that's like in the Inquisition type stuff. Or, I think it's the Inquisition, yeah. Over there. We have him. Now, which arm will fit for him is another question. I think it might be this one. Yeah, this one seems to fit best.
Where is an ammo box?
Alright. So we got this. This seems to be the one to fit. So let's get the sprue off of this one.
Yeah, no shit. How do I get there? Yeah. But how do I get there? Up here. Alright, good.
Alright, there's the arm. Here's the body. I believe this might be the head. Not entirely sure. Let's get the front body. That's most likely this one. See, because that's the front right leg. This is the front left leg. I'm saying front as if it has multiple legs. He does not. Let's chop that sprue. Oh, I didn't cut through perfectly. Alright. Let's cut it more. Bam.
Come on.
There you go. Of course, make sure not to cut off the hexagon. That's what sticks into the base. Remember to cut off this little bit here. That could be the difference between your guy's arm sticking out and it fitting in seamlessly. So there we go. We have the front torso here. It seems that this head does go on here. Let's check. It appears so. Let's try the other head. Let's see if I can get this head out. I believe it's this head. But I just want to see if the other head fits well enough in there. No, that makes it look like his head is snapping off. Okay. So this head looks like this. Fits into here. A little hole in here. Fit the head in there. Voila. Then you take the back. Smoosh it together. There you go. You have him with little stubby arms. That one Peter Griffin thing. Can go ahead and stick it in. Now you can do it in multiple different ways. Since it's a hexagon, you can position it almost however you want. But I'm gonna have it just to where he's standing like this. I think that looks best. With his little midget arms. Ain't that funny? Alright, put in the designated arm. It does fit. The arm with the thing facing down doesn't seem to work. So we're going to go with the arm facing, with the thing facing up. Good. Fits like a glove. There you go. You have your second Pyroblaster. Or, yeah, it's the Pyroblaster, right? The flamethrower. Alright. And then this should be your last one. All the remaining parts. Or at least, well... Hold on. We forgot the jetpack, or not jetpack. Let me get this stuff off real quick.
Lord, one more.
Let's just do that. Okay. There we go. Fits. This one may go to the other guy, to be honest. Because this one fits and doesn't wiggle around as much. This one wiggles around on here. So I feel like it might be the other thing here. So let's go ahead and do that. Cut off remaining sprue. Now for the I want to say jump packs, but I don't believe it's jump packs. I don't remember the name. Ah, yep, there we go.
Is he flying?
So this guy's head looks like this. His arm, the Pyroblaster. Let's flip it around just to see. And his little backpack thing.
Eldrick.
His leg. Front body. Back body. That's 10, 9, 11 for the main body part. So let's cut it out. I wish I mapped out everything for you. On the back, it does show like the numbers and everything for each guy. Though I'm freeballing this. I prefer to freeball. I find it more adventurous, more fun. I find it better. Let's just chip him out, see if we can. There we go. Get his leg out. And then his torso. If you can, try to cut the sprue and then twist it out. Sort of like that, if you could see it. Now the sprue, you can do a lot of good things with the sprue. Oh, 2023. It's been 3 years since this came out.
What the hell?
Cool beans. Okay. Well, like I was saying, the sprue can be very useful if you want to build like a diorama or a certain... add certain things to the base. Like you can cut it up and shave it a little bit and it'll look like rebar or something and stick it in some putty or Play-Doh or something. But yeah. If you can, if you want to, not if you can, if you want to, you can keep the sprue, but you don't have to. You can completely throw it out if you want. I just like to keep it because, well, it can help with things. like diorama stuff. But back to these guys. Don't need the scissors anymore, so I can just put them away. Pretty sure I already said in the beginning, sprue cutters are great for the sprue, or cutting it out of the sprue. Granted, this knife is really sharp, so I prefer using that. Let's put the backpack on him. Yep, fits like a glove. His body. Also, when you're cutting the excess sprue off, try not to cut yourself while you're at it. You can both trust me and my brother. Getting cut with a really sharp knife is really not fun. Especially, you can ask my brother for that. He really cut himself up bad by accident. But that's off to the side. Alright, this should be everything. So we can now take his head and fit it inside the thing. Fit inside the little hole. There you go, just push it in there. If you need to, grab something else to help push. There we go. There's the head. Hold on, there we go. There's the head. Then here's the back and the leg. I assume the leg will stick in there. Yep. There we go, just push the leg in there. Good. Now, I didn't cut off the sprue before putting it in there. I advise cutting off the sprue before putting any pieces together. Especially if you're like more beginnerish. You don't want to accidentally leave some sprue in a place where you can't cut it. It's a really bad feeling and it sucks. And then you're probably going to have to cut something in order to get to that sprue, and then it becomes a whole deal. It sucks. Just cut off the remaining sprue before putting stuff in. All that's left is the arms and the main body. Pretty sure I already cut this stuff off. I did. So let's just go ahead and slip this in now. There we go. Here's him with his little funny stubby arms. Once again, I say, if you're going to paint them before putting them on the base, go ahead and do that. Because, well, the base, well, this guy comes out easily. It's fine, whatever. But I'm pretty sure these guys are the only ones with the hexagonal stuff. Everything else, you have to not paint, but paste on there. Glue, paste, whichever way you want to say it. There we go. Alright, that should be everything. Just looking around. That should be everything. Good. Just say that little bit there. It's a bit goofy, but I'm sure a good coat of paint will totally fix that. Yeah, a good coat of paint would definitely fix that. Alright, go ahead and take the arm. Well, actually, let's try putting the left arm first before putting on the right arm. Alright, yeah, I'll definitely advise that. Put the left arm on first, or at least his left, and then put the right arm on, his right. There we go. And then you have your last, first, middle pyroblaster, whichever order you put them in. Alright. Now that I'm done sitting here, here's all of them. There you go. There we go. specs. That side profile. And then back in the front. Yeah, all done. Now we do have the paint and everything, and of course glue that we actually didn't need to use. Interesting. But yeah, the paint, I probably won't paint them like this, but it's nice to keep the paint around in case you do want to paint them like that. Granted, if you do ever do it for yourself, those are definitely the things you would use if you wanted to paint them Ultramarines. But yeah, I might just end up shaving off that stuff on the shoulders, because I personally want to have them custom. But yeah, that's everything. Now, it also shows you here where you should put the paint. And then shows the paint colors, of course. But yeah. This is the back. Bottom, just stuff. The side. Front. Top. And then the other side. This is all very cool. If you do start doing minis, I probably would recommend this. Looks very good. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. And then, of course, the guys I have downstairs. Which would be, like, maybe third time saying. The Lieutenant and the Chaplain in Terminator armor. Now, the Chaplain in Terminator armor, I got it for, like, 39 it was before tax, and then the Lieutenant was 33 before tax. Now, there was some change involved in that, like 33.41 or something. But, this was 29 smackaroos before tax. After tax, it was like 31. But, still, rather cheap. Rather good-looking Marines. I recommend it.